Ciao and buonasera. Welcome to another episode of the Strobing Butt Plug. I am this week's host, the Ron. These are my lovely and talented co-hosts, the Missy and the Ariana, whose stomach hurts and is definitely going to rip a big, fat, stinky fart.
It's a possibility.
She might shit herself.
It's a possibility.
Maybe. We are here to drink beer, talk shit, and...
Beviamo birra.
Si. This is the special Italian episode because last week I wasn't here. They had the stunt cock in my place. And apparently got really trash and talked for a really long time without me. Probably about me. Maybe bad, maybe good. I don't know. I haven't watched the episode yet.
Oh, did we really talk about Ron?
I don't think we did. We did when we talked to the stunt cock. We made use. I don't know.
Did you make it talk in my voice?
Because we asked. Well, we said, "Hey, so how do you like the beer, Ron?" Tastes like dick. It's my favorite flavor.
Yeah, that totally happened.
I love these bitches. The fact that they did that without they made a stunt cock for me. That they need me so bad they had to make a stunt cock when I wasn't here.
It was really fun.
Yes. Today we're doing the craft beer a little bit differently. It's less craft and more straight up fucking imported from Italy. Last week I was on vacation over in Italy and I decided that since it's my week to host when I came back, I would pick up beer. And in this case, I picked up a selection of beers from Italy. 3 are Italian. 1 is a actual Munich beer from Munich, Germany. So we got 4 to go through today. What would you like to start with first?
They probably all taste the same.
Maybe.
I'm really interested in the one that's the crystalline salt beer.
The Messina?
Yes.
Ricetta originale. Original recipe.
That one, the Moretti there, that was everywhere. I saw that in like
That's
fifths.
Like their Bud Light.
I saw it in
There you
like
go.
5ths and 40s and shit, and I had a few of those. They're pretty damn good.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
So, but you want to go with
I
the...
loved your picture, by the way. Not a bud in sight. And I'm like, right there.
Dude, I looked
It's
over that
right
shelf.
there.
I say
I looked
that.
over the shelf.
instantly.
I did not see it.
Like instantly, it's the first thing I saw. I'm like, there's got to be bud in there somewhere.
Right.
Because I saw something else. I can't remember which brand it was.
There was a lot
Oh,
of...
Heineken.
There was a lot of
Yeah, it
Heine.
might have been Heineken.
See, the problem with Heine is that it's German brand, and we weren't that far from Germany.
Right. There was a lot of other things I saw, and then there was one that I saw that was an actual, it was like a craft beer from this area.
Yeah,
Was it?
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
But our first one is Messina. Birra Messina. Crystal di Salt. Like some salt crystal beer. They do have proofs on them. They're just really fucking small for my shit. 5% on this guy.
Is their measurements the same as ours? Like,
Percentage off, oh yeah. Smells like a beer.
smells like a beer. What kind of beers did we drink last weekend?
Yes, do tell me what you drank.
We drank.
Let me look at
We
it.
had that really good Napoli one.
Yeah, it was French Toast Bastard or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that
was
sounds
really
good.
It was fucking amazing. It was like an 11%.
And we had one from a brewery I'd never heard of before. It was a really weird.
Purple Monkey Dishwasher.
Yeah, we had a weird one, and that was.
Pork chop.
We liked that one.
Yeah, he didn't write down the things. They had like I forget.
It's still sitting
I
there.
saw that sitting there. I'm too lazy to want to get up and get it.
2-day shipping was like a blueberry lemonade.
Oh, that sounds good.
And then we had a Rheingeist, but I don't know what the hell it was. Probably an IPA.
For the record, there's no mystery this week because they're all imports.
Right.
So
I feel like I know the IPAs that I brought one of them was an odd.
Dude, what? This like kind of looks familiar, but...
That's what I was thinking.
it looked familiar to me too, but I mean maybe
The Red Stripe beer?
it's not red stripe, but it's like
But
the
it
shape
looks-
of the bottle to
right.
me.
It reminds me of like maybe it reminds me of one of those Japanese beers when we had that Japanese.
I was thinking that
episode.
too, and because it was like funny because it's I don't know what that is, but I tried to. It's too curved for me to use the
Translate.
the Google.
So the smell on this, it's got a good smell to it.
I think I like it. It tastes good. Like
Right.
I mean, it tastes like a beer, but I like the
It's like a
nice and light.
definitely a nice sweet smell.
Mm-hmm. Almost has a. Why am I tasting a limey? I feel like I taste the salt.
salty, limey kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they do have lime and lemon over there, so that is possible. For my time spent over there, the least common thing is corn, because that's, North America kind of a thing. So they won't see a lot of things with corn bases in it, but, wheat and the rest of it is all valid.
Man, Italy sounds awesome, and now I want to move there.
I feel like that label, I don't know, for some reason it reminds me of Incubus too, like the band.
Maybe. So, in Italy, the major stops we went to were Florence and Venice. And I really like Florence. It's got a cool feel to it, a good vibe. Like, it'd be a cool place to get lost, and no matter where you turn, there's going to be some mystery. And Venice is cool. It's got that whole romantic vibe, but it also feels very much like Gatlinburg, Tennessee to me, in that it's a tourist trap. If you choose to go to Venice, good for you. Have fun staying in a hotel on the place, because you're going to be toting your luggage probably a mile plus before you get to your hotel. And,
But go ahead.
what?
I was talking about I was talking to myself.
Oh, it's not that close. You're going to be walking like forever.
I was talking about, like, I was comparing that to like an Incubus art for like their CD covers.
Oh, okay.
And same color scheme, but it doesn't look anywhere near the same. I mean, like, there was stripes all over it. They were going like in a circle.
Venice is like a freaking rat's maze. And the most important thing to know about Venice, guys, how important is it for you to piss or shit?
Depends on how.
Yeah, it depends on the urgency.
Yeah.
Is it worth $1.50 for you to take a piss or a
It
shit?
depends on the urgency.
Right.
Because Venice has very few. It has lots of public bathrooms, but it costs about $1.50, €1.50 to go take a piss or a shit.
That's really weird.
Otherwise, if you get caught pissing in the canal, they're going to write you a ticket.
That's great.
And they're going to fine you for pissing in the canal, which everybody apparently just pisses in the canal.
Good stuff.
So you should have just done that.
Right.
And, like, checked it off your tourist list.
That's what I would have done. I've been like,
Real
fuck yeah, I'm
wrong.
pissing in the canal.
Where's your sense of adventure, bro?
Right.
My sense of adventure?
Yeah.
It was the, €150 fine.
You just leave. I mean, once you're out of the country, how are they going to fucking make you pay?
They had,
You can send them a check.
yeah,
That's
well,
Better.
I wasn't feeling it. We'll put it that way.
Whatever. I wasn't feeling getting deported.
I wasn't feeling getting deported for pissing in a canal when it was only $1.50 to go pee.
I would have just waited till I found somebody pissing in the canal, and I would have stood there beside them. But if you can't get in any more trouble than they do at that point.
And then you look down and you're like, nice watch.
Well, some of the people I was with there, one of them was yeah, last time I was here, I was with my buddies and we were drinking. Where'd you pee? Yeah, we just pissed in an alley. But it was in the middle of the night when they pissed in an alley versus the bright stinking day. Now that being said, the alleys and streets of Venice are fucking tiny. Most of them are not big enough to fit a bicycle down or a car, or even think about one of those two objects. It was a 100% walking city, and the stupid step counter registered around 30,000 steps that day. That was a hell of a day. What fun shit can I tell you? We did take a freaking gondola. It wasn't like a romantic gondola ride, but like I was trying to find a Banksy painting that was spray painted on a wall.
Banksy?
Like a freaking underground graffiti artist type dude.
Gotcha.
We did eventually find the Banksy. It wasn't until after dark, but we did get a couple good pictures of it.
That's cool.
But at one point we were following Google Maps because they got pretty good maps of all the streets of Venice, and it was like, okay, now go here, and we got there. We're just standing on the dock, and this dude walks up, and this dude rows up on his gondola, €2 a piece, and he just gondolaed us across.
You gondolaed us.
Just ferried us across, man. And I was like, I'm on a boat, motherfucker! And then I didn't touch the water because it smelled gross.
Well, yeah, because people pee in it
Yeah,
all day.
exactly.
That's right. That's what you're supposed to. It's probably
The question I've had asked about Venice is, did it smell bad because of people doing the canal? I'm like, no, because the day before it rained like a son of a bitch and washed all that shit away. So Venice was very pretty and clean then.
It watered down the pee.
Pretty much.
Why are people too cheap to go pee? Like,
because it's $1.50 to go pee, and most places you're just like, I just go to the bathroom and pee. It's a bathroom, I pee. Not, wait, you want me to pay how much to piss? Fuck that, I'm gonna go piss on this wall.
I mean, you're gonna stay, at best, like if you're there all fucking day, you pee 3 times, 4 times. Like, that's not too bad. Like, I just don't see that you're gonna be, unless, I mean...
It was cash only, and some of them you were just putting like quarters into a vending machine.
I could see that.
So was it like a co-ed bathroom, or was it like...
One of them was.
I was gonna say, because you could just like, everybody pees at one time, pay $1.50, and get everybody in there.
No, you put it in, the turnstile thing opens, then closes real fast right behind you, like with an electric eye.
See, that's what I would have said. Can you do that? Can you sneak in with somebody's like coming out and all that? And he was like...
Nope. They thought about that. They had, I'm sure that somebody, when they crafted those toilets...
What kind of turnstile? Could you jump over it?
Several types. One was just an old school, like, push-through turnstile. Most of them were these, like, fancy automatic doors that literally would just, like, they're sitting like this, and then would slam back shut as soon as you walk through.
Maybe Italy's not as cool as I thought.
That's just Venice.
That's just Venice.
Oh, okay.
Rome didn't seem, or excuse me, not Rome. Florence did not seem to have that problem. Florence didn't give a shit.
Florence, y'all.
Not the shitty one. That's what I posted my little Florence gallery of. Florence is cool. It has lots and lots of statues of things left by the ancient Romans that are totally not gay. Except for all the buff, hairy dudes.
Roommates.
They're not hairy.
Some of them are very hairy carved, you could tell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a couple of them where you could just tell they, like, put a lot of effort into crafting body hair into the carved statue.
Nice.
But a lot of naked buff dudes very much staying together looking like triumphant. I'm going to say that old
I'm going to conquer that asshole?
Pretty much. Yeah, that old phrase, when in Rome, definitely meant gay orgy. Of course, and then it was just orgy, and they don't care.
Nice.
Did you ever find that thing that you sent us a picture of where it was like the dogs licking people's penises and...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
No.
Oh.
That's unfortunate.
No. So while I was over there, there was like a viral story that went around about like in Rome they have a McDonald's with a plexiglass floor where there's like a skeleton in it.
I kept seeing that and was going to send it to you.
I got sent and tagged and posted in that like 35 fucking times when I was over there. We were nowhere near Rome. Rome was like a 12-hour drive south of where we were, man. It was just like, good God.
You had all the time in the world to make that drive.
Come on, man.
You didn't piss in the canal.
Where's your sense of adventure?
You didn't drive to Rome. You didn't look for the fucking vase with the dogs licking each other's boners. What the fuck, dude? You wasted Italy.
I didn't waste Italy.
You wasted Italy.
I got pictures.
What did you do? You should have fucking stayed in America. God.
I got pictures of statue dicks, big rock hard cocks, and some statues.
And you missed in that one picture. You're like this, like you were going to touch his wiener, but you were like this far from his
Well, I was trying to get, I wasn't the one taking the picture, and it was really fucking hard to do that. They were like, come on, you're being stupid. I'm like, come on. And they're like, literally, you're being stupid, Ron. I'm like, you're killing my buzz here, guys.
I think it's stupid that you, like, missed.
You should have walked up to the statue, just fucking did one of these things, and then had the picture taken.
So, like the statue.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious.
So, like, the thing about the statue is they're probably like 12, 18-foot tall statues. So, getting up to them, and they were all like 20 to 30 feet off the ground. I'd had to do some fancy climbing to get up there, let me tell you.
You still could have got the heart.
That's right.
You guys should have got some money and flew over, man.
We're going to. We're going to have to do that. We're going to have to fly, even if we just go there for a day. Go there for a day.
To make sure Ron actually looks like he's touching the wiener.
We're going to do the hearts.
The wiener hearts. I'm like doing this. I'm like, how do you do that? Like,
that's so great.
I'm obviously too old for this shit.
Yeah. Good times.
At any rate, it was a fun time. Some of the other shit we did, we had a rental car, so we did not take one train anywhere, and everybody I've talked to is like, you should just do Europe like train. They have a great train system. And it's like, yeah, we got a rental car. We fucking drove. And that was the shit, and scary as hell. All of their roads are like, most of the surface streets are about as wide as the alley behind my house. and two-way
That's
streets.
crazy.
Two-way streets. The average speed on their interstate was 130 kilometer or 80 mile an hour, and nobody did that slow.
Jesus.
The interstates and whatnot were probably like a good 3 feet to 4 feet skinnier than our interstates. And when I got back and to drive my car back home, it was like, holy shit, these lanes are so goddamn wide. I could go anywhere on this lane. And then I was driving my car like I was in Italy. I'm like, wait a minute. I need to just not drive like a complete lunatic here. I can drive like normal. It was fun.
That's cool. That's cool. You're to cut into your Italy trip thing.
No.
I was gonna say you reminded me. So on the way here, I almost ran over some lady getting her mail, but it just started getting dark, and so like her mailbox is like right here. Here's the line, so it's like real close. And obviously, I didn't see her. She was wearing a little bit darker of stuff. And the thing that she did, it was like she must have been getting ready to get her mail or just got it. Because when I come right up on the mailbox on her is when I just barely saw her because she was hiding behind her mailbox. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I get it that you're like waiting not in the street, but you should probably not be ducking behind your mailbox. Like
Maybe it wasn't her mailbox and she was stealing somebody's mail.
She could have been.
She was totally going to her mailbox and you about killed her.
But I feel like if you're, and I get it, if you're hiding behind the mailbox, you're like, oh, sweet, I'm not in the road. But my thought is, I don't trust people. That's too close to the road. I'm going to like be way out here unless I couldn't get way out there. Because I'd be like, okay, I'm way off the road. That way, if they clip my mailbox, they're not clipping me.
Right. Because that shit does happen.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Are we ready for the next one?
Yes.
Sure.
We have
So how did we
4.
feel about that one? I thought it was good.
Give it about a 3.
I was going to say,
I feel
right?
like a 3.5.
It was a 3.
I was going to say like 3.5 or a 4. Like it tasted like a beer with salt in it, but not like your
It was
typical.
it was a salty light beer.
They're light. Like they don't taste. They don't taste like your typical Budweiser or Busch, but they don't taste like a light beer to me either.
Well, like Italy is a very warm country for the most part, and dark beers generally go for a lot of the colder climates. So
Right. That's. But I mean, it's.
So Ron says a 3. Missy says what? 3 or 4?
I'll give it a 4. It was pretty tasty.
I'm going to give it a 3.5.
So our next one is, how do we fucking pronounce this?
Ignis? I can't see it.
Ignuso?
Ignucia? Ignucia? ICNUSD.
Right, it's like a backwards
Let me
D.
see.
Non filtrera.
Oh.
I'm having problems with some of the Italy because, like, Venice is not Venice. It's Venice. Venice. No, I can't do it right. Florence was Florencia and Venice was Venetia. And my brain was calling everything that, and my brain reprogrammed itself for a minute to stop saying thank you and start saying grazie to everybody.
Grazie.
Because I felt weird. Most of the time when I was over there, I figured out that if I don't open my damn mouth, no one's going to know that I'm a fat American. Except for the time I wore a Harley shirt and a Batman shirt.
That's funny.
Stupid American.
Stupid Americano.
ICHNUCD.
D. One of the other fun things from Italy is, so I've always heard that the wine's cheap and like everything else is not.
They knew that.
I bought some really good wine, and here the wine I looked it up is about $50 to $60 a bottle.
Ignusa. That's an A.
Ignusa. There, the bottles that I bought were like $9.50.
Nice.
To compare that to a 2 liter of Coke, which is about $15.
Jesus.
Heineken owns that beer company.
Okay.
Let's see.
Heineken International. I don't know if that's...
Sardinian-made beer, which is brewed in Asimeni, a town near the Sardinian capital, Cagliari. Cagliari. I don't know.
Smells interesting.
Cagliari.
Cagliari.
There's a little pouring shot for you. The cool part about all these is the back of the bottle, if you can see it, camera. None of that shit's in English.
Ooh, that's really smooth. I like it. I like it a lot.
That is good.
Another kind of a sweet thing. Most of these things, I could not figure out the hop profile to save my life. So I don't know what kind of hops they're using and all that sort of stuff.
I think it's sweet. Sweet, like...
It's not quite as light as the other one.
No,
but
it's good.
It is. It does have like, I don't know, it tastes like something I've had before. Kind of.
Maybe a little bit of a lemony sweet. It's a little lemony sweet, maybe.
I get no lemon because I don't like lemon beer. This is like fucking good.
Might have a little. I think maybe not. Oh, maybe I saw some sediment in there.
It says it's non-filtered, so there's possibly sediment.
Okay, there's a little bit, not too
I was gonna
much.
say it could be kind of sedimenty, and maybe that's a bunch of little bubbles.
So they had on the shelf. So this is non-filtera. They had filtera, filtered.
Right.
And I got the non-filter because I'm like, oh, let's go with this. The non-filter is probably going to be, it'll be sediment, but it'll be the stronger flavor.
Right. That's really good. I like it.
Very good.
You guys did well.
Very, very good.
And on this bottle is really weird because ooh. So I don't know, but my first thought,
1912, by the way, on this one.
I didn't know what I thought that was at first. But so it's like a black guy with a white bandana on and a big earring. And I immediately wondered, I was like, is that like some kind of like a slave reference type thing?
I don't know if Italy was big for slaves or not.
I don't know.
I was thinking like a pirate.
Yeah, maybe I was thinking that at first. I forget what I had a first thought, and then I'm like, oh, wait.
Just the earring and the headband
Yeah.
makes me think pirate, but I don't fucking know.
See, Spain was more known for pirates. This is Italy, so I don't know. Like I said, 1912, that may be just what they wore to keep them sweating their asses to death. Because it's always like 80 or 90 in Italy, except for this time of year.
Maybe it's some kind of farmer.
That's possible.
Let's see. Let's see if I can pull up my Wikipedia. But it's not that bottle.
Non-filtered is the recipe.
So there was a restaurant we went to that was a brew pub. It was called Hot Chicken.
Hot chicken?
They were very clearly trying to pimp themselves as an American style thing. And they brewed 3 of their own beer.
Nice.
A blonde, a red, and Especial.
Especial, that's awesome.
Especial was blonde and red mixed together.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Presenta un aspetto velato, grazie.
See, yeah, I was going to say there's that. They have...
So I got, what was it again?
Huh?
I got grazie, so thank you. Basically, please enjoy our beer, something, thank you.
I got non-filtered is the recipe, but I don't know. I can kind of read Italian, but not very well.
See, that was the fun part of Italy. Like, their kids have an English class over there where they're made to learn English.
See, like, I've been learning Italian for a while, but I'm not, like, great at it. I can read it a little bit.
Like, 90% of the time I could bullshit my way through pretty damn easily.
I feel like most people most countries make everybody else learn English.
Right, I know.
Which is really weird.
It's kind of sad. I'd like to learn, like, a bunch of different languages.
Right.
Like, I started learning German, and German's really hard.
German's really hard.
It is really hard, and so I, like, switched to Italian.
So Italian and Spanish, from what little bit I've read and learned, researched on both going on this trip, because I just bullshit Spanish listening to people around here. They're very similar. So if you can learn Spanish, you can learn Italian probably pretty quickly.
That's what I've heard.
Spanish, French, and Italian are all very similar because I've been doing Spanish on this Duolingo.
Yeah, I do. That's what I do.
So,
Do you pay for it?
No.
I don't pay no.
So,
I'm going to friend you on there now.
Hell, I didn't know you were on. Yeah, I gotta do that.
Like, Italian for yes is C, Spanish for yes is C.
Yeah.
No in French, Spanish, Italian, and English is no.
Some of the things are really funny because it's like caro. Like, that sounds made up. It's like
The what?
for like car, the CARRO.
Oh.
Automobile.
Caro in Italian, I believe, is rich.
That's funny.
Or caro.
So this says unfiltered. It is the recipe created in a simony something place. Ass. From the RRAL, so maybe real. Come on. As of our masters brewers, made with pure, but wait a minute, made with pure filtered barley, malt, non-essendo, has not been filtered, presents.
So.
Nope. Has not. Fuck you.
Non-filtered.
Yeast remained in suspension. There you go.
So.
Thanks. Appearance. So pretty much, yeah.
So pretty much barley wine, and they leave the
It's
yeast
so
in.
weird. Yeah.
Okay,
It is.
that's good stuff.
It's like the Google app.
Google Translate was what I was using.
So it's just literally it's the Google app, and then when you open it, the translate text right there.
Yeah, there's like a camera function you pull out, and it live translates pictures.
Yeah.
When we first got to the hotel that first night, we were pretty tired from being on the plane forever and hungry. And our first night there, we got a proper Italian pizza. And that thing was fucking lovely. It was like split into 3 strips. Mozzarella, spinach, and tomato with olive oil for the crust. No tomato paste or any of that bullshit.
So basically, it was like a pizza, and then there's just sauce on one part of it.
No sauce.
No sauce.
The sauce was olive oil.
Weird ass. Oh, but tomatoes. Okay, because it looks like
Tomato.
a flag.
So it was, tomato, mozzarella, spinach, and on the crust in lieu of tomato sauce was olive oil.
How much better was the olive oil there?
It was more just an additive. I didn't go like drinking olive oil.
I feel
I think you
like
can taste it pretty well, though.
that still isn't even realistic for the pizza.
We also had, and I didn't get a picture of that, there was a large Greek population around there, and so there was a lot of kebab places. We had a kebab pizza also that was pretty damn good. But that night, after we made a mess of the breakfast room, because the nice lady who ran the front desk let us eat in there, she's in there cleaning up, and there was this gentleman sitting there, because I was chilling out in the lobby petting the cat, and this gentleman came up and started dinging the bell like, where the fuck is the service? This service is terrible. And he was grumbling, and I was like, I looked at him like, oh, she's in the breakfast room cleaning up, and he was like, no English! All pissed at me, and he was like, oh yeah, that's right, fuck. Pulled out Google Translate, and I was like, literally, sorry, she'll be back in a minute. She's cleaning up after us. We had some dinner in the breakfast room, and we made a little mess. She'll be back in just a second. And then I held the phone up with the text at the guy, and he just read it and looked at me like I was some kind of fucking wizard or some shit.
They must not have that.
And he's like, what is that app? Google Translate. What? Just Google Translate, dude. Pointed at the icon and all that, and he just looked like
That's
the fuck.
funny.
And he was on a fucking Apple.
Right.
He's on a damn iPhone, so
No English, but then he asked you what the app was?
yeah.
Well, because
app-
he probably
Yeah.
did he say it and then they did the reverse?
No, he just, what app is that?
Did he say that?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's like
that guy knew English.
He's just
Fucking
being
liar.
a dick. Just being a dick.
That's funny.
Like he didn't want to deal with this non-fucking English-speaking asshole, so fuck that non-Italian-speaking asshole, fuck that guy. Oh, wait a minute.
I feel like that's probably a thing, but then also maybe I think foreign people are like embarrassed of their accents and shit.
Well, how often are we hearing?
Right.
How often are Americans like, "Fuck you, Spanish bitch, speak English"?
I've never.
But how often do you hear that shit? You know?
I know, it's disgusting.
There's only one time in the whole time there that I thought there was someone that genuinely had no fucking clue what I was saying. The first truck stop we went to on the way to Florence, like their signs for bathrooms are just a little different, and I was like, the doors were open because somebody's cleaning. I almost walked into the woman's room, and this lady was like, no. I was like, toilet? No. And I about walked into the woman's room, and I was like, so which one is it? No English. And I looked again, I saw dudes walking, I was like,
Jesus.
I already told this story, but this is definitely a butt plug story. When we were in Florence, we ate dinner at a very nice restaurant and all that. I had to use the bathroom, and I had to go take a crap. Went in, take a crap. There was a lot of places where they had butt napkins instead of toilet paper, like just little teeny napkins, and wiping your ass with those was a chore. But in this bathroom, they had... Oh, I thought you were like doing something with your hand behind my back.
No.
Trust issues. But in this,
That's right.
But in this bathroom, they had a sink that was a little low for a sink, and I thought a little high for a bidet, but there was like an adjustable fucking thing on it.
That's really weird.
I was like, well, shit. I turned on the sink. I was like, well, fuck, there's no soap here. This is fucking annoying. And because, you know, those butt napkins weren't exactly good for keeping your hands from getting dirty while you're wiping your ass. I was like, well, shit, I want dinner. There's no soap. I'm in a foreign country. I'm not going to be a dick about it. Maybe this is just a thing.
So Ron shit on his hands.
I scrubbed the ever-living shit out of my hands in that bidet. I walked around the corner, opened the door because they had like separating little doors from the from the toilet to the sink. I was like, oh, well, there's a sink. There's soap. There's a blow dryer. Son of a bitch. I just washed my hands in a fucking public bidet.
I find it funny that you didn't notice that on your way in.
I really had to shit.
And also, this reminds me, so when you had taken a picture of the bidet in your room and you were talking about the bidet and I said that I wouldn't be able to trust it, I'd still have to wipe my ass, and then you said you did. And then you said something, you said it was really weird. It was a weird feeling to be like washing your ass with your hands knowing you just took a shit out of it. And I'm like,
so
I wasn't getting it. And me and Ariana were talking about this last time.
We were.
Okay,
so I said I need your proper explanation because the way you made it sound is like you took a shit.
All right, so like the hotel had a bidet, and I was like, how does one even bidet? And I looked it up and watched a couple videos on them. Like, all right, I don't want to make too much of an idiot of myself.
You're starting to.
That's fine. That's what this is here for. So I was like, okay, so turn the water on, get the temperature how you want it, adjust the nozzle where the spray is, and squat over it and let it clean your ass. I was like, all right, well, I did that. And I was like, I wonder if this is getting all of it. Like, if you're like not sure if you get it when you've like used paper, you wipe again. I'm like, well, I touched my butt. And I was like sitting there touching my butt. Is like, well, that didn't get all of it. Kind of wiped my butt without toilet paper. I'm just like, well, this is an odd feeling. And then the problem here with the bidet, why I chose not to use it again, when I got to the right angle there to get it nice and clean, there was splashback from the bowl and it hit my balls. And I was like, nope, we don't like that. No, thank you.
Why not?
And see,
I feel like your balls would be cleaner and you
Right.
would fresh.
It was an unexpected hit of warm water on my nuts when I wasn't thinking about warm water on my nuts.
But so then it's like, for me, you're like, I used my hand. It's like, that just, I can't even, I'm like, that would be like, you take a shit, you use toilet paper, be like, did I get it all? So you use your hand.
No, you use like, so if you're not sure if you got it all when using toilet paper.
You use toilet paper again, you don't use your hand again.
Yes.
You don't use your hand.
There was no toilet paper in this instance, so it's like, okay.
I remember the picture of the bidet, and there was toilet paper on.
Well, it was like, how does one bidet, okay? I'm not a fancy Frenchman, I'm a fat American, goddammit.
I used the bidet when I was in Louisville, and I liked it. I very much enjoyed it.
Ooh, like, did you use it for a half hour straight?
Yeah.
So, like, one of the videos I watched had a chick explaining how it all works. She was like, and if you're a lady, you turn around and you wash your front by doing this, and she turned around, like, on the bidet, and it was like, huh, and had, like, the nozzle pointed across. There was no, like, water or anything when she's fully rested, went, huh. Well, that would just be
That's
helpful.
why those ladies spend so much time in the bathroom.
There you
Yeah. Yeah.
I would too. I'd be like, bidet!
Oh shit! See, the one I use is like the one that connects to the toilet. Though it's not like a proper, like separate entity of the toilet.
The bathroom was an interesting little nightmare in of itself because what part of the building our room was in, you had to go downstairs in the room to get to the bathroom. Where like American hotels have to be all like, safety conscious, handicap people. You went down 3 stairs, turn right and step down another step. Italian light switches scared the shit out of me in the dark. American ones, you have that little stick out part where you can just grab it with your hand and flip it on and off in the dark. Italian ones are all like flush mount with the wall, so you had to like slap around for it.
That's funny.
And knowing that there were stairs and tile right in front of me in the dark when I had to go piss, a little unnerving.
Interesting. Either they're much more educated and competent than us, and that not a whole lot of them are handicapped, or they just don't care.
They just don't care.
Okay.
That is my guess. They just don't care. The other side of the coin is that hotel started its life as like a castle/villa, and according to the little paperwork in the room, construction began on it in 1565. In 1565, they definitely gave no shits about handicapped people.
Right.
The walls of the place were like at least 2 to 3 feet thick stone.
Nice. That's fun.
So we ready for the next one?
Sure thing.
So the next one is one that I have had a couple of and I enjoy. It's Beer Moretti Recita Originale.
Are these all like 5%ers?
Just about. There wasn't anything real high there. They had plenty of freaking liquor though.
Okay, well, I was gonna say Italy sucks maybe, but...
They had plenty of hard liquor. Hard liquor was all over the goddamn place. When I brought this stuff back, the only thing that customers really gave a rat's ass about was liquor. They didn't care about wine and beer.
That's funny. I feel like if you lived in Italy, or you just, you went there for an extended period of time, and you made your own little brew setup, and you made like all these weird beers and stuff, I feel like you would just, I don't know. They would probably be confused, but also they would think that you were really awesome. Like a blueberry beer? A fruit beer? Like, is this a wine? Like, I think they would be, maybe they wouldn't be confused. Maybe they've heard of our craft beer obsession.
Well, you said you saw some American craft beers.
Right, I was going to say that too. But it wasn't like I don't think it was anything special by any means.
I like the picture on that one.
Yeah, this came in a box with that dude on the side. I've had a few of these. They were very good.
It's a smooth beer.
Smells like a beer.
Like it. What did we rate the last one?
No. Last one I'll give it like a 3.5.
I don't know. This is weird tasting.
I had like a Danish beer they had at the hotel that was pretty good.
Like this has
It has a strange taste to it, to me.
But like I said when we were talking earlier, these were all over the place as Moretti. I saw it in probably like 40s and double these. They were like literally this is probably like their Bud Light kind of shit.
It's got an interesting taste. Something I like about it.
What do you rate the last beer, guys?
The last one, I'm definitely, maybe we'll call it like
I'm going to call 3.5.
I'll give it a 4.5.
I think I'm also going to give it a 3. No, I'm going to give it a 4.
I don't really like that last one. I'll give this one a 3.
So most of their beers are the beers that I saw that were Italy were all real light. I looked and didn't see anything that looked like heavy duty hard stout. But there again, Italy is one of the warmer countries. And I'm going to assume that warmer countries aren't going to want like the thick, heavy, dark stuff. All hot, sweaty summer beers, my thoughts.
Were all their beers ice cold?
Pretty generally, they were all cold.
Because I heard
this has like a weird undertaste, and I don't like it.
It's got something weird. But Germany, they drink their beer room temperature, is what I've heard.
Missy says 3. I'm going to give it a 2.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like it.
I'll call it 3.5. I enjoyed it. I bought a bunch of these. So.
I like the other 2 much better.
And I actually have one more of these at home. And this weekend when we go meet up with old Zachy boy for Dark Charge Day, I'm going to give it to him.
Nice.
Just because.
That's sweet of you.
Just because I feel like Bitch Boy could use a good Italian beer. or an average one. Either way, it's something unique he ain't had before.
Right.
And if he doesn't like it, well, whatever.
It's a regular beer. It's not going to be craft style.
Yeah. Macro brew kind of shit. I will say that it is super fucking clear.
It is very clear.
It is.
It's a nice
Super filtered. Triple filtered.
colored.
Yeah. Their beers, I didn't say they were special beers, other than the fact they came from Italy. The last one's a little bit special. That's one I've wanted to try for years. We'll get to that in a little bit.
I feel like this almost tastes like cardboard. Like that undertaste is like tastes like cardboard or something.
That's funny.
I can't place it. It's like something I don't know. It's like kind of bitter to me.
See, I've been trying to figure out like the hop profiles and some of this stuff, and there's not a lot for the hop profile, you know?
Whoa.
Wow, man. Wow.
So, I've been rambling about my field trip. Is there any questions you guys have about Italy other than things I didn't do?
Let's see.
Just chug it.
I'm trying to. It smells like a letterbox or something.
Oh. I don't know.
Do you have any questions about Italy that I haven't rambled about?
I'll think of them later probably when you're gone.
Okay.
I don't know. I thought I was gonna ask you something, but I was more interested in like the language barrier and all of that for the most part, and like how hard it was to get around and like
Getting around without the GPS, because I had like an international like travel plan thing on my phone, so my phone basically for an extra $10 a day worked exactly like it does here. Without that, getting around would have been a bitch, because street names, city names, and all that stuff are a fucking mystery to me, how their addresses work and all that. I know how Canadian addresses work, I know how British ones work, and the Italian ones just make no goddamn sense to me.
How do British addresses work and how do Canadians' addresses work?
Canadian addresses work very similar to American ones, same order, you know, street number, street, city. They just have different zip codes.
Thanks, friend.
No problem.
British ones are kind of similar to that, but they also name like the county it goes to, more or less.
Okay, gotcha.
It turns out better.
The Italian ones, though, like getting and driving on the road in Italy is kind of like a free-for-all thing. Speed limits, signs didn't really exist. It was kind of a have fun, figure it out, don't die. Like the interstate speeds were all 130 kilometers, 80 miles an hour. And that was more like a suggestion. Yeah.
The speed suggestion.
Yeah. Lots of roundabouts. Very, very few stop signs. I like roundabouts now.
Sometimes.
But without that GPS, I had no fucking clue where I was going. There was one time that was funny though, because we were like driving to one of the malls and it was like, turn right on something Nazi way. I was like, the fuck?
Nazi way?
It was like, the fuck?
Awesome.
It was like basically translated to Nazi celebration way.
Oh,
nice.
And we're like, did that say Nazi? We're like, yeah, well, I guess they were buddy and the Nazis took them over at some point. So, go Nazis.
I like it.
Yeah, it was like, it was N-A-I-Z, or N-A-Z-I, whatever. Der Fuhrer.
That's great.
And this is a terrible segue into that, but...
That's an amazing segue into that.
very fitting.
Our last beer is not an Italian beer. That beer store also had imports. I have wanted to try a Munich Stout, or excuse me, not a Munich Stout, but a Munich Wise made in Munich for a long damn time. I was hoping we might make a trip to Germany because it's not far away, but that did not happen when we were there. But instead, I got my hands on a Munich beer from that same grocery. Hofbrau Munichen. And it is Munich beer. Literally, just Munich beer. And it's Hofbrau original.
I still taste cardboard from that last beer. I swear to God, it tastes like cardboard. Like if I was to like tear up a cereal box and eat it. That's what that beer tastes like.
Yeah.
I feel like not so much. That beer it had a pungentness about it.
It's gross.
So, real German beer, real Munich beer, brewed with real Munich water. Don't let me down, Germany, otherwise I'm going to be disappointed in you.
What's so special about Munich water?
Something about like the like alkalinity and salinity and all that sort of bullshit is supposed to like make their beer what it is.
Okay.
Interesting. I've never heard that before.
Neither have I.
And it's a light ass boy. And if it tastes like shit,
Very beautiful.
we blame the Germans.
It's very clear. So, it's kind of weird because it's like, are all beers that clear? Like all typical, just normal beers like Budweiser and Bud Light. And I just been so long since I've drank one that I don't even know.
I don't think they're that clear. I think they're, darker.
It's got
Maybe
its-
clear, yes.
It's definitely a different smell than the last one.
Good. I don't want to taste cardboard again. Bitter cardboard. Thanks, dog.
I feel like these aren't very
Well,
carbonated either. Like, I mean, they are, but they're not.
again, this is
Ew,
European.
it smells like weed.
Ew. Doesn't smell good.
Tastes good. I think it's smooth.
Nice kind of bubbly feel on the tongue.
It is good. It's better than the last beer. It's got slight sweetness to it.
If you taste it differently, like, you actually put it in the front of your mouth instead of just like sucking it back, I think it tastes weed-like.
A little bit. It's not bad.
Dank.
I think that one was my favorite.
I think it was too.
Which one is that?
Ignusa.
Ignusa.
Ignusa, however you say it. I don't fucking know.
This definitely tastes pretty dank.
Some good dank ass weed.
Dank squatch.
Dank squatch.
Not that dank. God, that dank.
That was nasty. Like the worst beer
Like,
ever.
so I've had lots of beers that try to taste like this or taste similar to this. For like, a good Munich style beer.
It tastes quite better when you throw it back instead of getting it on the front of your tongue.
Do you guys still think that tomato beer is the worst beer we've ever had?
Oh, God, yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
I think
Why are you
Dank
trying to say
Squatch is up there, too.
It is.
He's putting the Moretti up there with the tomato beer?
The worst of them.
No, I don't think so. It's probably like in the top 5 or 10 of the worst beers we've had to me. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look and see what we had, but I know like the Dank Squatch was disgusting.
Yeah.
And that tomato,
Yes.
whatever the fuck it was called, was also disgusting.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess this isn't bad. I do definitely enjoy this one a lot.
Yeah, I don't think this is bad.
The number one thing I think I can take away from this, I saw a meme picture once where there is wine Europe and beer Europe. Italy is firmly in the wine Europe line based off of climate and shit. And it shows with their beer. Because this is German beer and it's firmly in the beer part of Europe. And is a lot better.
I think this smells skunk-like too, and so that's what it is. I mean, it's weed-like, but it's definitely skunk-like. So I feel like it tastes like skunk spray.
This kind of shit you need in a big goddamn mug. You need in a giant goddamn big mug. Have some super buff chick with huge tits carrying 16 of these things towards you and sitting them on the table and everybody's just sitting around, dancing and singing in German or some shit. Ja, German beer. Someday, Germany. And just German beer.
I would love to go to Europe. I'm going to go to Europe someday.
I think it would be really neat. I would like to go.
I would like to go back.
We could all go together.
That's right. Butt plug Euro style. It'd be
Instead of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Strobing butt plugs Euro Vacation.
that would be so funny. That would be hilarious. Could you imagine?
Yes. Yes, I could.
And I really feel like I don't know, because I was gonna say I feel like you could take a bus to if you were where you were, or not a bus but a train, you could take a train to Rome, and it wouldn't take, that you said it was 12 hours. I don't think it would take 12 hours.
6 hours. I got the time fucked up.
There. Oh, okay.
I was thinking round trip, but it was 6.5 hours to Rome from where we were.
Oh, there you go.
Train would have been less. Like it.
4 hours one way.
Like near as I could tell, like it's like 2/3 California in length. The boot country. But that much driving. I will say there was basically like one major interstate highway in the whole thing, and most of it's a toll road. So if you're not paying for train passes, you're paying for that.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, you could take the trains anywhere in Europe if you really feel like it. But I still feel I had a hell of a lot more freedom with that rental car going anywhere in Italy I wanted.
Right. You could just drive around and kind of like explore without having a destination and be like, ooh, that looks neat. I want to go there.
That is exactly what we did. That's why we went to 2 malls and a bunch of different shopping places.
That's cool.
Let's see. We went to McDonald's. And I talked about this with you guys.
Yes.
McDonald's was the fucking shit. They had deep fried olive stuffed with freaking Parmesan. Gave you little Parmesan cheese sticks with it. They had chicken wings, like legitimate, just little chicken wings. And I had this double barbecue burger that was excellent.
I feel like I would have had to have tried to order a Happy Meal to see what kind of toy I could get with it.
I feel
Pokemon
like I
cards.
probably wouldn't have gone to McDonald's at all.
Right, but that is neat because...
Pokemon cards, by the way.
That's interesting. Pokemon cards.
Dude, there are kids all over the place playing fucking Pokemon. Nintendo is a fucking master at marketing their asses because I didn't see much in the way of toys or anything, but there were fucking Nintendo Switch and Nintendo everything all over the place. Hell, there were kids in the Rome airport playing fucking Pokemon Go.
That's funny. I probably would have had to turn on my Pokemon Go and played it there. Just because. And then when I would have been like, dude, this is lame. It's just like the US and I'm not getting anything any different. I mean, if I would have got different Pokemon, it would have been...
When we went to the malls, both malls had GameStops, and they were laid out and set up exactly like American GameStops.
As they probably should be, which would make sense.
And I went in there, they just released, was it Pokemon Inferno or something? Or Sapphire? There's a new Pokemon game. Came out last week. One of my buddies was excited talking about that in one of our other group chats. And they have the Italian version of it there in... Was it Emerald or Sapphire? Or Sapphire. And it was Pokemon Sapphire in the States, and it was Saffrio or whatever the hell it is in Italian there. And I was like, hey, Dan, you want that? And he was like, I already got it, stupid. I'm like, Italian packaging?
That's funny.
I don't know if Switch games are region locked or not, but you just go through the menu and pick your language anyway.
Right.
Same game.
That's driving me fucking crazy.
But would very much enjoy taking another trip to Europe. At some point, I want to take my daughter to Japan. I feel like the language barrier in Japan will be a whole lot more interesting.
Right. I
There was
feel like they'd be really hard to learn.
I think they're assholes. There was a couple
They're assholes.
Well, there was a
fucking racist dick.
Who's assholes?
Japanese. There were a couple Japanese dudes walking around, and the Japanese dudes, every time someone tried to talk to them, Japanese. And they're like, okay, Japanese. They were getting pissed that no one spoke Japanese. There were some Chinese. There was a bunch of Chinese people running around doing the tourist thing. We were getting ready to leave Venice. We got behind a family of 12. It was a whole family of 12 or so Chinese people doing the tourist thing. And despite having literally 3 or 4 kids, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, and whoever the hell else, nicest people in the world. Didn't speak any English, spoke Chinese, and spoke Italian. And there was some bullshit conversation in Italian.
Fun. I feel like Asians have really weird cultural traditions, and I don't. I mean, I'm sure they have to have a sense of humor and that they're funny or whatever. But I feel like a lot of times they're more serious about things. So I don't think that's an anger. I just think that's just how they talk. I have this guy that I've worked with several times. What is he? He's from Vietnam. And so him and his wife, like I hear his wife, like his wife will call him like a few times throughout the day. And, you know, obviously they're speaking their native language. And it sounds like angry and pissed, but I don't think they are really.
That's German. Every time I hear German, I think it sounds like somebody's pissed.
Yes.
Yeah, it does sound.
And then, so anyway, we had this, I don't know what this guy, like, I just knew he was Asian, but we had this patient, and we were told that he was, like, nauseous and had been, like, sick, had been thrown up or whatever, but he, like, wanted to lay back, like fairly reclined. And so, you know, and at this point, like, we're all still wearing masks. And even though the guy could not speak any bit of English, he could have, like, grunted, made noise, and done one of these things, you know, like, threw his hand up in the air or whatever. And we're just, you know, walking along through the facility with our patient, getting ready to take him and drop him off in his room. He just vomits all over his face. He doesn't move. He doesn't get up. I mean, like, he had limited mobility, but he could have, like, yelled for our attention. And he's just laying there with the mask on his face. And it's like, ugh. And, like, I didn't even know it happened until my partner's like, well, let's stop. And I turn around and, like, my partner's in the back of the cot. And he's here wiping the dude's face off. And it's like, why didn't he say anything? And it's, it's their culture. They don't, like, ask for shit or don't,
They just deal with the problem? Just deal with it?
Maybe. I don't, because he doesn't speak any English, so he doesn't tell any, like, I don't know. And I said something to the nurse about it, and she's like, I just think it's part of their culture. Like, that's, there's a certain, obviously reason that.
Well, like, all the Italian people that I interacted with, they were pretty chill. Nobody was like, oh, you stupid fat American. No, they're all just pretty chill, like, hey, you're here, we're here, whatever.
Until they were, like, talking, like, doing their language, like, ha, 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 pointing and laughing.
Yeah, I could have figured that out, actually. Their language wasn't that hard to figure out.
Really?
Yeah, just listening to, like, the random yammerings, like, I could figure out, like, most of what was being said. Does that make sense? So they were pretty chill. One of my favorite things that I absolutely fucking loved about the hotel, I know I already told you guys about this, but not you guys. The hotel had cats.
Yes. That would be fun.
The hotel had cats, and they gave no shits about having cats. There was this little black kitty cat named Luna. Luna was a fucking lovely little lover of a cat.
And this is why Italy is better than us.
True story. Luna, she lived her best life. She lives the best life of any fucking cat you can come up with. In the night, they let her into the hotel lobby every night, and she sleeps on nice, cushy, soft chairs. In the morning, she gets let out to go do whatever. And every morning after breakfast is served, about 10, she and her brother and father will sit out there and get fed prosciutto, ham, and whatever breakfast meats are left over. They will get served that every morning. There across the courtyard, the place had like a 4 or 5 star Italian restaurant. And in the evenings, she was allowed to go in the restaurant and sit on a nice squishy chair and get fed whatever table scraps the people didn't finish.
I'm surprised those cats weren't, like, really fucking fat.
It's whatever the hell they did outside. And our last day there was an Austrian couple who was there. They've been coming to that hotel for like 15 years. And that last night, the lady, she apparently knew Luna, and they've come to that hotel several times here. The hotel staff and Luna, she just went right up and slept in the ladies' room with her.
Aww.
And I'm just like, that is fucking awesome and amazing. Like, their connection with their animals is great. Like, all the shopping malls, there were just people walking around with their dogs, just like, whatever.
Could you imagine that shit here, though? Like, you're going to have somebody in that hotel either trying to steal the cat, take it home for their own, or they're going to...
I'm allergic to cats. You didn't put this anywhere. I'm allergic. I can't stay here.
I'm suing this place.
Right, and then you would have, like, somebody be like, let's just fucking poison that cat. Like...
I hate people around here so much.
But that cat was the cutest, most lovely little creature there. And it was just like, I love you, cat. You're an amazing little critter. And Luna lived her best fucking life. She is living her best fucking life.
I'm going to dress up as a furry, a cat furry, and just move to Italy and go to that hotel and just like lay around and then get fed like the bacon scraps and shit and just live my best life.
You can just go sleep with whoever you want.
Yeah. Just whatever room. I feel like sleeping in a bed instead of on these like hotel chairs and shit. I'm gonna go into your room tonight.
One of the things talking about furries, like first day there was playing Flip Channel on TV. It's like, what is Italian TV like? Bunch of reality shows, bunch of stupid shit. Landed on some evening news, and I was like, all right, I don't know what they're saying, but we'll watch this. And they did like a 5-minute segment interviewing some guy at a convention. They had like a comic convention in somewhere near there that weekend, and they were interviewing this dude. And he was sitting there talking about different things, and then they interviewed this other dude who was dressed as a Viking, talking about how much he liked being a Viking. Then they cut to this other dude standing at a table with a bunch of fucking Transformers.
That's great.
And I was just like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And I like tried looking for Transformers and where to buy them. You can't fucking buy them anywhere in that stupid country. And I'm like, all that shit must have been expensive as fuck to import.
That's funny.
Because like, he literally was like, Americano di Transformer. I was like, huh, motherfuckers importing Transformers from America. That's silly.
So get money for it.
As if you wouldn't do that.
Right, exactly.
As if I wouldn't import Transformers from America if I was stuck over there. Yeah, I totally would.
Right, exactly.
But it's all good. It was a fun time. Would do again.
Oh, yeah.
Would go do Rome next time.
That's right.
To see more dick statues.
To go get molested by the Pope.
Yes. Oh, that was a funny story. So, like, the different people at the hotel, there was, like, one dude who worked there on the night shift. I got to talking to him about things because he was, like, a little nerdy looking, and I, just making conversation. He told me a story about how sometime in the last few weeks, the Pope, the literal fucking Pope, heard about some CD they wanted, and they got in the Pope-mobile with their security, drove to a music store and bought a CD.
The Pope?
And it was like, yeah, it was photographed and all this stuff. So I was making jokes and talking about how a bunch of people I work with are Catholic and wanted me to, like, go there and all that. It's like, that's funny. I'm like, I'm not Catholic, but that's funny. And I was like, so you know how you can tell the Pope's really fucking old? And he just kind of gave me a look. Like, seriously, do you know how you can tell he's really old? What? When is the last time you bought an actual CD? And they're just like, what? I'm like, seriously, when's the last time you actually bought a CD? And the guy sat there for a minute. He's like, holy shit, you're right. I'm like, yeah, only old people are actually buying CDs.
That's so funny.
I would still buy a CD.
It's like all MP3s and downloads, man. It's like, holy shit, you're right.
That's so funny.
Like, you could tell he was about to get triggered because he was about to insult the Pope in, like, some, like, massive way. And he's like, oh, shit, you're right. The Pope's old. That's funny.
That's funny.
Oh, and the town we were staying in, I'd already told you guys this. It was Aviano, Italy, and apparently every January 2nd, they have a witch burning festival to celebrate the new year.
That's really weird.
I think it's awesome.
To celebrate, like 400, 300 years ago during like the Catholic Inquisition kind of shit, where they were like getting rid of witches because they believed the witches were like bringing all the ills of the world.
I feel like it would be if like our Thanksgiving was a Indian scalping festival.
Pretty much.
That's what I feel
but
like that would be compared to.
Yeah,
but like,
I guess that makes it not cool.
But like, every like January 2nd, they burn an effigy of a fucking witch in the middle of town, and they light up bonfires and pyres and burn witches. And going, man, that's cool. I'd like to see that. I got a lot of female friends that would definitely like be questionable about their safety during that. Burn the witch.
I feel like that's how it would be. Or it would be like, I don't know what holiday you would be supporting, but you would just be like, I don't know, I was going to say, for dressing like the Pope and molesting kids or something like that. Like
that's a holiday. Let's dress like the Pope and go molest kids. Quick, whoever gets the tallest hat gets to molest the cutest kid.
Let's see, right. Yeah, that's pretty much... I feel like this is how these things would be. It's like if it was the witch burning festival translated into this, it would be like burning swastikas and crosses into people's yards or something like that, like...
Yeah, the area was all very nice, very rich.
Like the slavery festival. That's what I compare that
to. Celebrating slavery 200 years later. And that's how I got canceled.
The shooting up nightclub festivals, like. Let's see how many other bad traditions we can fucking celebrate.
Man, that shit was on the only channel I picked we had there that was English was BBC, and they talked about that and all this stuff. On one hand, the BBC was very much talking about equality and how bad it is to kill gays and it's bad. And then a little bit later, they had another dude on doing another thing. He was the most sexist son of a bitch ever. So much so, Francis had me turn that shit off.
That's funny.
Was commenting on, man, that guy would fucking kick his ass.
That's funny.
Fucking British people. Still want to go visit those fuckers too.
Ron's fucking British people. Racist.
I mean, at least I'd speak the language, right?
Yeah.
Ron's probably the organizer of the slavery festival.
Probably, yeah. I feel it right.
What the fuck, Ron?
What the fuck, dude?
Watermelon eating contest, grape soda chug.
Wow.
I'm gonna get canceled. Let's go all the way.
Oh, damn.
Who can erect and burn the cross the fastest? Oh, it can get way worse than that, and you know it.
Right.
Anyway, so that was my ramble, and it's mostly a me-centric episode. And if you want to hear more from them, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I had one thing that I wanted to say
to ourselves this last time.
Right.
So.
I had one thing that I was going to say that I thought, I was I don't have anything to say. And I'll say that I have no idea what it was. It was something that I forgot to say. Oh, I was going to say I forgot to say it last week. I just remember what it was. So I don't know what the hell was happening with me, but I was my only thing that I could think of that what was going on, I was am I too aware of my own face? And it was...
How drunk were you?
I was sober.
Were you
on acid?
No. So I had one day at work where it just, where you're simply existing, and you're you notice that you're, focusing, concentrating, whatever. You got
just
your
notice
muscles
all this skin you have.
You got your muscles do and you're oh, I can relax my face. Well, I had a moment where I kept catching myself doing that, and I couldn't stop doing that. So I'd be relaxing my face, but it was it was fatigued through here, and I felt it right here, which I never felt myself do anything like that. So almost under my cheeks. It's not it hurt, but it was uncomfortable and super annoying. And I couldn't.
And then she had a stroke.
No, well, it was on both sides. So unless you'd have a stroke on both sides at the same time, which would be really fucked up. But so I kept feeling that the one day, and it was just a light feeling, and I was that's really weird, and but it was cool. After I started relaxing my face, it was no big deal. And then a couple days later, it kept it got progressively worse. I was what the fuck is going on? Do I have something? So I'm looking this shit up and symptoms and whatever, and it really didn't come to anything. And the only thing that it basically said was it could have been a stress thing. I'm I don't have any not everything was the same. Things are going really good. So it was there was no real stress. It's things are going better than what they have been. Whatever, blah blah blah. So I was there is no extra added stress. And I'm why is my face like this? So I had to just stop and meditate. I just did a couple times after that. I usually try to meditate in the morning or maybe at night, but I was really into it, and I meditated for longer, and I'm okay, I made sure to be really relaxed, and it worked fairly decent up to the point where I was I could still kind of feel it. And then the last thing that made it completely 100% better was when I came here, and then we had the last episode before Ron was gone. So I was just I'll be having a good time, completely ignore it, and I'll drink, and that will just force relax all my muscles because of alcohol. But it was the weirdest thing. So I was why do I feel my face? Why is it fatigued? Why am I feeling?
It's all this useless skin. Let's just peel it off.
Right, and it was the weirdest thing. I'm am I just too aware of my face? What's going on? Am I just hyper aware? And I was maybe I've been meditating and doing a whole bunch of shit a lot, and now I'm just super hyper self-aware, and it's affecting my face right now. I have no idea what it was.
Huh.
It was really weird.
So you were doing drugs.
I know. I wish it was drugs without the effect of the drugs, other than I can feel my face.
Dude, my
That's
face,
rather
like,
bothersome.
I could feel my face, man.
I could
And,
feel
like,
my face
skin,
to my bone.
And, like, I could feel my skin, man. My like, I can feel my skin. Can you feel my skin? Wow, man. Are you sure it wasn't drugs? Did somebody dose you with acid?
No, because
It may roofie you.
I mean, it would have lasted for like 3-4 days, like, you know, off and on 3-4 days, because it was like one day, then it skipped a day, then it was just like kind of light this day, and then the next day it was like really, exactly. It was like really crazy the last day, and I was just like, what the fuck, man? It was really weird.
That's weird.
So, like, one of my final thoughts was yesterday, of course, I was back to work, back to normal. I had some jackhole call me yesterday at like 6 a.m., 6:30, demanding I get online and I reset his password for his thing. And I was like, dude, call the help desk. And he refused to call the help desk, said he's been waiting for days for me to reset his password. I was like, call the help desk, that's what they're there for.
That's funny.
And, like, I made him wait until I got in, because it was like, dude, that is what they're there for.
I feel like if I had that shit happen to me, I would get super irritated to the point where I would, like, if I had to fart, I would fart on the phone to them and just hang up on them.
Well, like, he was, like, basically it was like, I left my laptop. It was like, dude, I left my laptop at work. I can't even if I wanted to. Why did you do that? I've been on vacation. I'm not, no. And it was just like, come on, dude, fuck off.
Why'd you even answer your phone?
Right.
Because it was like, it vibrated itself enough that it vibrated off the nightstand onto the floor.
Oh.
And the vibrations alone woke me up, and I thought it was like a legit, like, emergency. Because that is a thing I do need to answer sometimes. But, whatever. So what have we learned today?
Runs are racist.
Italy's probably way better than us. Italians are way cooler than us.
Definitely way more chill.
Yeah, way chill.
Better, just like their social ecosystem, you know, like they more respect for others, more in tune with doing the right thing or doing.
They let their pets go places that
Right.
they don't like sue over a cat being in a fucking hotel.
They're all about human happiness, not creating more misery.
Right? Why are we doing that? Why are
Right.
we
Like,
doing
We're doing that
seriously.
to ourselves and everybody else here. We gotta
Like,
stop being fuckers.
Like, seriously, like,
Stop
just
being
watching
fuckers.
TV and, like, the stuff that was talking about coming out of America, it was just like stress, more stress. America, we have to be number one. We're number one. Fuck you, we gotta stay number one. And Italy's like, whatever, we know we are. We don't fucking
See,
care.
I'm like that. I'm like, I feel like I was Italian in past life because I'm just like, whatever. I
Well,
don't care
I
about being number one.
Told you by
But-
text message, we saw a bunch of people that look just like you.
There you go.
A bunch of
They're
people
your
could have been your
family.
sister or like a distant cousin or twin.
See, I was probably adopted and I was originally from Italy.
There you go.
So I think
Ariana.
that's like our new
Ariana.
catchphrase is stop being fuckers.
Stop
Yeah.
being fuckers.
But like
New shirt
legitimately,
idea.
like legitimately, that is what the news felt like. Even the pompous ass BBC British news was exactly like that. It was just like, huh, they're totally chill and they like us, they're cool, and it's just like they want to be like us, they want to be insane. Ooh, there's a kitty.
Oh, that kitty.
Handsome as
So, that's
Looking
what,
in at us and meowed at us.
Yeah.
He says, feed me, bitch.
what have I learned? I've learned Missy was on drugs.
On drugs, I didn't even know it. I want to know what kind of drugs I was on and what the dose
Who
was.
gave
and
you free drugs?
where I got it. It's like upsetting. How do I get more?
How do I get free drugs?
That's
Can I have
right.
some?
You gotta go trick or treating.
Oh yeah.
That's what I mean. You know, you go trick or treating, and then all kinds of free drugs are in your life.
Sweet.
Nice.
Shall we do our thing?
The strobingbuttplug.com. Like, subscribe, share.
And stop being fuckers.
That's right. Stop being a fucker.
Ciao.